Am I right, sir, or am I wrong? I am challenging universities, athletic departments, and the NCAA to feed your athletes. And I'm going to start the challenge with mine, the University of Oregon. So this is not a diss. This is just a challenge during this challenging corona time. Help your athletes. Feed your athletes. These are the same athletes that generate billions of dollars throughout the year. Ticket revenue, sales, jerseys, marketing, licensing, all this, whether it's the NCAA tournament, college football, World Series, any of that. Some of your athletes are starving right now because they come from socioeconomically disadvantaged backgrounds, but these are the generators, the money makers. And as soon as restrictions are lifted, as soon as we can go back to playing ball in normal life, you're going to want them to be in tip-top shape. And if they're not being nourished and eating properly, like all athletes need, then guess what? Their bodies are going to break down. They're going to get hurt, and they're not going to be able to compete at a high level. These kids are away from school. They're at home. And now the burden of feeding them is on their parents, and it's on them because they're still paying rent on their apartments or in their rooms, whatever. They're still paying their utilities at school. And 24% of them have said that they felt food insecurity in the last 30 days. But there is somebody who's doing it right, and that's Ole Miss. Ole Miss is doing it right. So they had student athletes reach out to them and say, yo, look, we can't eat right now. They found a way through compliance to get $105 for any athlete who asks. They can send it to them on a card that they can use at certain places, restricted places. The way that they can make sure that their athletes are being nourished. Because it's the right thing to do. Because you know what the alternative is? The alternative is these kids getting in trouble, taking money from people, or doing something the way they can eat and live. Take, for example, last year, Chase Young was suspended a number of games because he got a loan from somebody that he paid back to get his girlfriend to the Rose Bowl. So think about that. You don't want kids doing something that could get them or your program in trouble. And also, it is the right thing to feed them because you're going to, like Mike Gundy said, you need them to pump money through the state of Oklahoma, through the state of California, Florida, Oregon, wherever else. So question, Alabama, are you feeding your kids right now? Are you feeding your athletes? Oregon, are you feeding your athletes? USC, UCLA, Florida, Florida State, are you feeding your athletes? It's the right thing to do because truth be told, they're feeding you. They're feeding your family too. Am I right, sir, or am I wrong?